guys? This is Hayden Hurst, NFL tight end. I'm partnering today with Red Recover. We're going to run you guys through some drills. I started using Red Recover last year, my 4th year in the NFL. It just helps me on Mondays after games, get my recovery process started, get back into the fold of the week, and get ready for the following Sunday. If you want to recover like me, use Red Recover.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, great. You got a doorbell camera. Now you got a front row seat. Oh, great. You got a doorbell camera. Now you got a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
No.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Get out of my house!
Oh, Mom's jewelry. There goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, a free doorbell camera.
Free?
One that'll actually work for you. It's not total security unless it's the Sloman Shield. Call 1-800-ALARM-NATE.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. It's time for Dolphins football. Welcome to the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Pregame Show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. EJDConstruction.com is a fully insured liability and workers' comp. Call Eric if you need a custom home builder or general contractor. 305-433-4843. Here's your host, the Big O.
All right. Merry Christmas, one and all. And there is no better present under the tree than a Dolphins win on Sunday, baby. And we are here. We're ready to rock and roll. The team has got an opportunity to get ahead in the standings. And I can see where Sean Stanley already has us in the win column, so I like that. I switched it up today, by the way. I put on a different Dolphin hat today. I've been using the other one for the last couple of weeks. And, they've lost 3 in a row, so I figured we'll change it up a little bit. This is a really sweet hat, by the way. If anybody ever can find this hat again for me, I'd appreciate it. I'd love to have another one of these. It's really hard to find. It's a really hard hat to find, man. It's an awesome hat. But we've lost 3 in a row with it. So I figure, I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to bring the other one into the mix. And we're going to start this one. We're going to bench the other one. We're going to start this one today on the show. And I hope you all out there had a great Christmas Eve. For those of you that celebrate Christmas Eve, like we do in our house. Sean Stanley, Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas to you and everyone out there. What? And they're 8-6, right? I didn't give them a win already, did I?
Oh, I thought I saw 9-6 there. Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you put a 9.
Look, I've had a terrible time with these graphics. I always forget to change the win-loss of the visiting team, and this time I thought I had it all right, and then you said that, and I'm like, damn.
I don't know why I thought you put 9-6 already for us.
We're going to be 9-6 in the post game, so it's all good.
That's right. Well, yeah, we'll have it in the post game show. We'll have the 9-6 ready in the post game show for you all out there. So appreciate all of you out there for joining us. Lee Sterling will join us in hour number 2 on the program. So we'll talk to him, but we got a lot of things to talk about with the Dolphins. Obviously, we'll answer any of your questions and comments there on the YouTube chat board. Appreciate you all out there as always. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Remember, in fact, I should actually pull up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up the Reddit chat board. And for those of you that are on Reddit, you can actually join us at the r/Big O Radio Show. And the lounge is open, okay? So I am going to put it there also if you want to chat there, of course. So just in case, I can put it up there on the Reddit too. So that way, because the Welton Rayom text line at the moment, I am really pissed off with these text people. They're a pain in the ass. So I've got to finish that stuff, and I've been at it for the last week, trying to fix this issue there with the thing. I got to ask for like a credit, you bastards. Like I can't use it for the last week because you have that stupid thing in the way that I can't use it. So we could use the Reddit chat board if you want, but I mean, right here on the YouTube chat board, you should be able to get in anything that you want, but just in case, and don't forget, you can also send in a question through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, as always. Joe Shad, Marcel Louis Jacques, and Cameron Wolf will join us in the post-game show. So we'll have lots of reaction from the locker room for this game. This is a huge game. And, listen, here's where we've got to – let's not BS this, okay? Because we've been Dolphin fans, some of us for a short time, some of us for a long time, some of us for a real long time. And one of the things that all of us that have experienced the last 20, 25 years, how does it help to limp into a playoff? It doesn't, right? Because that's the only way the Dolphins have ever made the playoffs. They limp into the playoffs. They barely make it as one of the wild cards. And then they get spanked and sent home, right? And we're going back and forth, whether it was yesterday or the day before on Twitter. And I said, this isn't about winning one of the three or two of the three. No. If the Dolphins are going to right this ship going into the playoffs, they need to win all three games. Stop screwing around. Win all three games. If you win 2 of 3, that's not good enough because you've lost 3 in a row. So basically, you've won 2 of the last 6. That's as limping in as it gets. So you can't have any more losses here in the regular season. And it starts today with Green Bay. And there's no more effing around, and there's no more screwing off, and there's no more mistakes, and there's no more, giving up stupid plays and making stupid mistakes or mistakes in coaching. And no, dude, that needs to pass now. You need to play 3 excellent games. You need to beat all 3 teams because you should. You're better than the Packers. You're better than the Patriots, and you're better than the Jets. Go out there and play like that. Don't play down to them. Play your best football. If you play your best football, you should be able to win all 3 games. If the offense brings it the way they're supposed to in all 3 games, you definitely should win all 3 games. So it's time. It's time to stop screwing around. It's time to end all the mistakes. And it's time to stop tripping into the playoffs. Win all 3 games and don't screw around. To win 2 of 3 and then you need help from this team or that team, that gives me zero confidence for the playoffs. Zero. You win all 3, then I can actually feel good about the playoffs. I can feel like you've righted the ship. But if you lose any of the next 3, then that tells me that you're still an inconsistent team. Streaky as hell and inconsistent. And I can't feel good about the playoffs. If you make them, I get we're all going to feel good that they make the playoffs. But I'd like to feel good about the playoffs. Win all 3 games. That's it. I know it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy today. It's not going to be easy against the Patriots. It's not going to be easy against the Jets. Those are divisional games. So they get personal, and I understand that. But you're better than those 3 teams. So go out there and prove it, man. That's what you got to do. No more limping in or any of that shit. If McDaniel is the coach that we think he is, well, then, he'll fix his issues and the team will fix their issues and they'll get it done. And if they're as good as you and I think they are, well, then go out there and play like that. But I don't want to see 2 of 3 is not good enough. Even if you make the playoffs, it's not good enough. Because it's just going to be, a sign of things to come, in other words. And that's really what goes on today. And the next couple of weeks. You want to feel good about this team? You know what you have to do. Once again, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And hang in there for those of you, by the way, dealing with the cold. And do want to remind you, Sloman's Home Shield, we talk about their home security and Obviously, you can get a free doorbell camera by calling 1-800-ALARM-ME. And you use, of course, our professional installation, our low-cost central station monitoring. You're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Tell them that you listen to the Big O Show, and they will take care of you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. But right now, we got a lot of people freezing across the country. And Sloman's Home Shield, they've been taking care of Americans for over 100 years, from protecting them and heating their homes. So for those of you right now, 866-OIL-DEAL, and you're in Connecticut, you're in New Jersey, you're in New York, you're in Maryland, you're in Virginia, you're even in Georgia, going through some rough times. Well, guess what? Sloman's is there in your state. And I don't know what you're paying for heating oil, but maybe you want to compare the prices because, listen, you could save hundreds of dollars. It's a fixed price, okay? Tell them that you heard it on the Big O Show, 1-866-OIL-DEAL. Just find out. Compare what you're paying. Ask what you will pay. Who knows? It doesn't hurt. One phone call just to find out if you can save yourself hundreds of dollars in the long run. 1-866-OIL-DEAL. Tell them that you heard it on the Big O Show. Sloman's, protecting Americans for over 100 years. Great company, great family, man. And they're Dolphin fans, too, by the way. The Salzman family, Dolphin fans. So you know they're going to be rooting for it today. William Quigley is in the house, baby. Yes, sir. Love it. Cutter's Edge Pro. He says, Merry Christmas, Big O, Sean, and all of our dedicated listeners from the Cutter's Edge Total Landscape Solution team. Go Dolphins, and let's get back on track and finish our regular season with 3 wins and momentum for the playoffs. I am with you, William. That is the key. Momentum, man. Get the 3 games, build the confidence back up again. You know, that's why the 3 games are so important, because you feel like you've righted the ship into the playoffs. And that's exactly what Will is talking about. Momentum. And you don't build that by being uneven in the final 3 games. You build that by winning all of those games because they're teams you're supposed to beat. And then now you get to the playoffs where now you're going to be playing teams that are at your level or even higher, and now you've got to then take your game to another level. But we can't expect you to take it to another level if you can't finish the job in the regular season. And that's the problem. You know what I mean? Remember, you can get your question and comment in also on Venmo and on what's it called? Cash App. At Cash Big O Show is our address. That's Cash Big O Show. So if you got a question, an insult, a compliment, a Merry Christmas, you can also do it there at Cash App and Venmo. Cash Big O Show. Bruce Ham, thank you for the love on the Super Chat, sir. Appreciate you with the fireworks and all. Michael Cody, also fireworks and all. Thank you for the love on the Super Chat. He says, Merry Christmas from Buffalo, Big O. And Sean, been stuck in one place since Friday. Please give me a Dolphins win today. Amen. So I know we got Michael out there in the Buffalo, Rochester area. We got Lisa out there in the Rochester area. We've got, damn it. What's the other guy that I know that is up there? And I'm thinking of his nickname now. Because it's not a name, it's a nickname now. You know who I'm talking about, Sean? Who's the other gentleman that's up in Buffalo in that area? Damn it. What's his name? So I know some of our guys and ladies that are up there. Man, hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there. And call Sloman's. You might save yourself some money on heating oil. Jesus. Raging Dolphin Maniac. Raging Dolphin Maniac, I know, is also in that Buffalo, Rochester area, too. So I know it's not easy. Hang in there, folks. Okay? That I know is rough because we've been watching the news, and it hasn't been good. Rod Romero, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, Merry Christmas, Big O. Go Phinz. Thank you, Rod. Appreciate you. Adam Pinkser, thank you also for the love on Venmo. He says, 9 degrees here in Indy, Big O. Let's deliver the Packers some coal today. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Adam. Of course, appreciate you all out there as always. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. And remember, you can also send Bitcoin. You know I love my Bitcoin donations on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. So you can do that there also. What else do we have? There's Raging Dolphin Maniac right there. He's up in that Buffalo, Rochester area also. I know that. Rough, dude. It is. And what happened in, what was it, Ohio and Kentucky, right? Was it the crash? I think the crash was in Ohio. All those semis and those trucks and everything. My God, it was a couple of miles of accidents and just absolutely brutal. Our prayers with all the family members that had to deal with all of that. That accident in Ohio is, my God, it is scary stuff. I mean, all of you up north are dealing with some brutal weather. Just be safe, stay home, watch as much television as possible, and relax. And I hope you bought a bunch of food and just stay safe, because you definitely don't want to be out on those streets. That's for damn sure. Hell, I'm a South Florida wuss. Okay, being here for my entire life, I'm a South Florida wuss. And I got to tell you, man, it is cold as hell for me right now. I don't know. It's, Sean's laughing right now at this stuff, but because I've watched the man literally walk out in 25, 30 degrees in New York City with the wind howling, and he's got a T-shirt on and nothing else. And you're like, what the hell is wrong with you? But I got to tell you, man, it's cold, man. It's cold. Paul V, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, Merry Christmas, Big O and Phinz fan. Freezing my jingle balls off in Jersey. Big day. Let's hope for a big day from the boys. Amen. Amen. They're going to come through. They're going to come through. I got faith. They got to come through in the next 3 weeks here. And McDaniel's got to be at his best. Cap for Life also chimes in. A little super chat action. He says, absolutely 1,000% right, Big O. Now we got the Steelers, the Jets, Patriots, and Titans all fighting for that 7th spot. There is no room for error moving forward. No more backing in. Today, we take it. You got to take it. I'm with you, Cap for Life. Thank you for the love on the super chat. Anthony Ramirez also giving us some love on the super chat. Says, Merry Christmas, Big O. Appreciate everything you do for us Phinz fans coming from California. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. I'm just glad I'm going to Montreal in August to go see Metallica and not now. Holy shit. Wow. Well, I wouldn't be able to fly anyways, right? And that's the other thing that's happened the last couple of days. My heart breaks for all the family members that are trying to get back home or to families to be with for this weekend, and they're stuck in an airport. They can't find their bags. Oh, my God. And my MIA here in our backyard is one of the airports having a lot of issues. I know Denver, I think, is number 1 right now in the country with like the biggest mess going on right now. And man, think about that. You're trying to get home and you can't get home because you can't fly out, you can't get there, you can't find your bags. I saw yesterday in the news people that were in line for an hour. I'm sorry, 5 hours to actually get their bags. That's crazy. Steve Allen, thank you for the love on Cash App. Appreciate you. He says, Merry Christmas, Big O and crew. Go Phinz. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, man. Very, very nice of you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, just feel bad for those folks out there that have been obviously stuck in some kind of airport or trying to travel and in this kind of weather. It's just absolutely nuts. Chase Barrett says, Big O, do you think Tua over 269 yards is a good bet? Only thing I'm worried about is that the teams have run all over the Packers, but we know McDaniel ain't doing any of that. laughing. I would go over because we can't trust McDaniel. He still doesn't get it that when you actually have, let's talk a little bit about that. Today, there's a lot of things on the line besides a playoff spot. Today, there's a lot of things like part of all of us, right? I mean, I make mistakes still every day, and I learn from my mistakes, and that's how we grow as human beings, right? You don't learn everything when you're a kid, and all of a sudden you become an adult, and that's it. You know everything. You all know that. We're all learning on a consistent basis because new things happen to us, new experiences, all those kind of things, and we learn from them, right? And then we try to live off of those experiences so we can avoid those mistakes. And there's a lot of that going into the game today. And it starts with your head coach and Mike McDaniel. And Mike McDaniel has to, while I love Mike McDaniel, he's a terrific coach overall. I'm a big fan of what he's doing, but I'm also honest. He has made several mistakes when it comes to his play calling. He gets a little bit too big in his britches, okay? And he gets a little cocky, if you don't understand that saying. And it's just one of those things that he got a couple slices of humble pie. And I'm wondering, okay, so you ate the humble pie. Did you understand it? That's what I need to know from McDaniel, because the run was working and it was a weapon for you in Buffalo in that weather, and you chose not to continue to milk it, which would have kept the possession, kept your defense, which is not good, and it's not going to get any better. I love how people are like, oh, well, the defense got to step up. Brother, they'll make a play or two occasionally, and that's it. And you should know that because I know that. They are what they are. They're not going to get any better. So what are you going to do? When you have the run game, aren't you going to complement your defense by keeping them off the field? Aren't you going to protect your quarterback by continuing to run the ball? Less hits, less chances for injury for your quarterback, because the run game is a quarterback's best friend. Aren't you going to run the ball more because Tua becomes even more dangerous when you run? Aren't you going to run the ball more when you have a chance because you have a chance to put up more points? All of these things could have happened for you in the Buffalo game, and you would have walked away with a victory. So, Mike McDaniel, are you going to make the right decisions? So today is about learning and today is about finding out if Mike McDaniel can learn from his mistakes. Going for that 2-point conversion so early in the third quarter when there's so much game left, that's just a level of cockiness that you don't need. You're on the road, be humble, take the point. You might need it down the stretch. Oh, my God, you did. So these are the things that I want to find out about Mike McDaniel. Okay. Look, it's I know he's also incredibly smart, that he knows how to bullshit us too. Okay. And if you go back and listen to our conversation with Joe Shad, which I kind of found it kind of entertaining that he would be so gullible he kind of told us that he believes everything that McDaniel's saying. An example, the Braylon Sanders thing. Well, Braylon Sanders was activated again this week. Now, he tells you, well, the Braylon was activated that week because he was running the same position of the player that got injured. It's not anything on Eric Azukama. And, of course, my guy, Joe Shad, believes that, which, again, by activating Braylon Sanders today, it just shows you that Eric Azukama is far behind right now mentally, which is normal for rookies. Okay. Some get it faster than others. And Braylon Sanders clearly must understand the offense better. Now, that doesn't mean he makes plays, because he has dropped footballs or chose not to run last week for a touchdown. Instead, he stopped to play defense for a ball that was never there. I don't know. So far, he's obviously getting the field and classroom stuff right over Azukama, but McDaniel's not ever going to tell you that. Okay? My man Joe Shad hasn't figured that out yet, but, McDaniel's very smart. He's not gonna rip on players. He's not gonna tell you the truth sometimes because it's not to his benefit, and he's not gonna embarrass the player. Oh well, Eric is doing his best, but he's a rookie. He's mentally behind right now. Braylon has gotten ahead of him. He's playing better in practice. He's getting things right in the classroom. Eric is still making mistakes. He's not going to tell you that, but he doesn't have to tell you that. By activating Sanders earlier in the season when he made a mistake and dropped a pass, I think maybe 2 of them, right? Might have been in that game. And then last week where they activated him again and he screwed up. And today they activated him again and not Eric Ezukama. Okay. So it's not that he happens to be practicing the same position as the guy that's injured. That's a bunch of BS. Okay. I mean, listen, all coaches lie, right? And McDaniel is exceptional at that because he's so smart. He can phrase it in an intelligent way that you're like, and not for me. I'm just like, yeah, I read the bullshit. We're good. We're good. We get it. And I don't have a problem with Ezukama being behind. That's not. Eric Moles was a first-round pick and did nothing for 2 years. Nothing for 2 years. He was an absolute bust for the Bills for 2 years. And then became one of the best receivers in the NFL after that for the next, 7-10 years. He had a run. He was a monster, as we all know as Dolphin fans, that he terrorized the team for many years. So plenty of players don't start off strong. Paul Soliai and things like that. Look at Channing Tindall. Bad rookie year so far for him, right? Because he's not on the field. Now, I'm not going to say that he's a bad pick or anything. It's just normal, man. X was very pedestrian his first year. Nothing. He did nothing. In fact, he might have started doing something his second year. It was, I think, his third year where he really took off. It happens. It's normal for guys to not necessarily shine. But, I don't have to believe what the coach tells me every single time. I could kind of do it myself by watching that Braylon now has 3 times been activated and Ezukama gets none. So that's all I need to know, and I don't need the coach to tell me anything more than that. Let's see what else we got here. Karen S., thank you for the love on the super chat. First super chat ever. Merry Christmas, Big O and Sean. Thank you. And Chad, remember, Chad is also part of the family. Nick Peligi, thank you for the love on the super chat. Merry Christmas, Big O. I'm up here in Buffalo also. Wow. So we got a lot of people that listen in that Rochester, Buffalo area, man. It's amazing. Fortunately, I haven't lost power at all. Just hoping it holds up for the Dolphins game. Fins up. That I was thinking about this. Like down here, we have to have generators, right? Because we face hurricane season every year. You guys don't have these blizzards necessarily every year, but don't you guys have to also have what's it called, generators up there because of these kind of storms? I would imagine that some of you have to have that kind of stuff, right? Hang in there, Nick, man. That is rough. Because down here you should, if you have a house, obviously an apartment and condominium is going to be impossible, but if you have a house, man, you got to find a way to have a generator on the side there. Bruce Ham, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O has a beautiful heart. Thanks for responding to my Twitter DM. I felt honored. Well, I try to respond to as much as I can. I can't say that I respond to everything because, brother, it is so many platforms, so many DMs from Twitter to Facebook to Instagram to LinkedIn, and now we added, what's it called, Reddit. We got YouTube. Holy shit, dude. It's really hard to keep up with everything. But Bruce, thank you, my man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Too kind, sir. Too kind. Adam Sadowski, thank you for the love on Cash App. Says Merry Christmas. Appreciate you, Adam. Thank you, sir. As always. And on Venmo, let me see here. Okay, no, okay, there we go. All right. Got it, just to make sure. Ryzen says, good morning, Big O. At the game right now, feels like I'm at Soldier Field. Go Dolphins. Hang in there, man. Hang in there. You're a tough dude, I'll tell you that. Not as tough as the people up north. I can't do that. You folks up there that went up to those games, you got balls of steel, I gotta say. CRS Collectibles, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, Merry Christmas, Big O, go Dolphins. Thanks for keeping the show going strong. Well, it's not going to stop us. This has been part of my life for 30 years. That holidays get kind of in the way of sports, and it's part of life. You gotta work them no matter what, man. It's just one of those things, and we're going to keep the platform going. This is what we do. We do our Dolphins pre- and post-game show, and if they chose to do it on Christmas Day, then we're going to work it on Christmas Day for you all, man. And that's it. And it's what we got to do. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in and keeping it locked here. I'm honored that you all kept it locked here as always. By the way, this is the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show. And of course, Eric has been a big sponsor of ours for many years now. 305-433-4843. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the work that they've done firsthand. And then I know some of the work that they're doing for a lot of you out there, from building an observation deck to building an outside backyard full of, from a kitchen to barbecue, grease trap, all kinds of stuff. I've seen you guys build up your man caves, because he shows me the different things that you guys call for. Now, a lot of you, because I've been telling you about your insurance companies and trying to renew your policies, your hurricane insurance policy, and they tell you, hey, you got to upgrade your roof. Your house is over 20 years old. And if you haven't upgraded your roof, well, guess what? The folks at EJD Construction can do that. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, full contractor, and fully insured liability and workers' comp. So if anybody gets injured, you just saw Will there from Cutter's Edge Pro. We got two companies on this platform, Cutter's Edge Pro, all right, and EJD Construction. And both are on this platform, not only because they're exceptional human beings, they've got great companies, they do great work, but the real requirement also is that they're both fully insured. Because I can't have somebody on this platform, and I am promoting them, not just for the great people that they are and the work that they do, but that also you, the customer, you're safe. That if any of their people get injured, they're not suing you because they're fully insured. And that's what it's all about. So please, if you don't hire EJD Construction, if you don't hire Cutter's Edge Pro, hire somebody that is fully insured, please. Because if not, it could be a major headache for you. So they do it all. Okay, you want to add a second floor. One of our listeners had a fire. They have to remediate the entire home. They're doing that. They do anything and everything that you can possibly think of. Call Eric at EJD Construction and tell him that Big O sent you. 305-433-4843. We got the inactives. Myles Gaskin, Noah Igbenogany, Eric Ezukama, Skylar Thompson. So Teddy Bridgewater ready to go. Eric Fisher. This is why Kendall Lamb was activated with Braylon Sanders, because Eric Fisher is already injured and he hasn't even played. This has kind of been, this is his MO. And it sucks because he has the talent to play, but durability has been an issue for a long time for Eric Fisher. He hasn't even played and he's already injured and he's already inactive. Tanner Connor and River Craycraft are all inactive for the Miami Dolphins. So Teron Armstead is ready to rock. Kendall Lamb is ready to back him up. He's a pure left tackle. So that's why they've got him activated. Again, really good planning on the Miami Dolphins' part, having all the options. And we've talked about this. They've got 4 linemen on their practice squad. So 16 players on your practice squad, 25% of them. And do you blame them with the kind of luck they've had at the offensive line spot? So, and by the way, Eichenberg is active too, because Eichenberg is not on the inactive list. So I'm wondering if Eichenberg is ready to go. That's the interesting part. We shall see. We shall see. So you got the inactives there for the Miami Dolphins overall. The line, Miami is favored by 3.5. Green Bay is plus 160 in the money line. Miami is minus 190 in the money line. And the over and under in this game is 49.5. I would not be surprised if it's over because both defenses are going to give up points. It's just the way it is, man. There aren't a lot of shutdown defenses in this league, and Miami's defense is far from being a shutdown defense. After this game, it's the Rams and the Broncos and the Bucks and the Cards. Holy crap. Like, could it get any worse? Rams, Super Bowl winners, so you figure, okay, they're coming back. They might be pretty good. Broncos, they traded for Russell Wilson. Well, both seasons have been a disaster. The Bucks, even though they still obviously are alive for the playoffs in that terrible division, they're not nearly the team that they've been in the past. So they're not that good. And the Cards have been a disaster the entire season, with or without Kyler Murray anyway. Unsexy as hell, dude. And then on Monday, you get the Chargers with the Colts. Like, wow. Dolphins and Packers are hopefully the saving grace for the NFL for the next 2 days, because the rest of the games on the slate are not sexy whatsoever. So, is Tyndale a bust? Poppy Video, let me just be brutally honest for you. Anybody calling Tyndale a bust is a freaking idiot. Are we good on that? Okay. Are we good on that? Is X a bust? Because he sucked his first year. Is Jason Taylor a bust? Because he sucked his first year. Is Pat Surtain a bust? Because he sucked his first year. Just wondering. You understand now? Like, you're a stupid mofo if you say that. You're not just dumb. You're incredibly stupid. That's all. It's pretty simple. Anybody that gives up on a player in his first year, unless the guy got all kinds of playing time and he looks terrible and he looks Pat Whitish. You know what I'm saying? That he just looks like a deer in headlights, but he hasn't played. He's a young guy. It's the way it goes. Giving up on players in their first year, unless the guy gives you every reason to give up on him because he's an idiot off the field, he's an idiot on the field, he's constantly late, he's just, that. If he lacks professionalism, all over the place in his first year, and you want to give up on him, I can understand that. But we don't have any of those issues. It's just a young player that struggles to get on early on. Paul Soliai was useless the first 2 years. And then he became one of the better defensive tackles in the league. You're just a stupid mother effer if you say that. That's all. Pretty simple. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to say, oh, hey, no, that's just raw. No. I'm just going to call it like I see it. And I'm just going to say, you have no business watching football, and you're a neophyte, and you're an idiot. Just get out of my face. That's what I would say to somebody like that. Like, I don't have time for football 101. Which, by the way, I really don't have time for football 101. That's why I lose my cool with people that say a lot of stupid shit. And then, oh, hey, your blood pressure. I know, but what am I going to do? You know what I mean? So when I get stupid stuff like that, that's what I would say, Poppy Video. I know you're just wondering, but I want to warn you ahead of time. When you wonder on this program about giving up on players in their first year, you're not going to get a really good response out of me. because I have patience. I think you guys have noticed that I have some patience. Most of the time, I have patience. Oh, Tua can't throw. Like a bunch of you absolutes out there that look really stupid now. That he can't throw and he's too short and all that stuff, and you look really stupid now. You see what I'm saying? So it's just one of those deals. Like I tried to explain to people that what was going on with Tua for 2 years had nothing to do with Tua, had everything to do with coaching and talent. And a whole bunch of you treated me like I was, like I had a disease. And now you see it. So it's just one of those things. I don't like to give up on young players right away. Omar does that a lot. Like Jay Ajayi, his rookie year, he had some injuries. He didn't get a lot of playing time. And then he played a little bit at the end of the last month of the season. And he had like 51 yards in a game, and he looked pretty good and all that. And Omar was like, no, he's not an every down back. I'm like, Omar, the guy hasn't played. You got to give him some time. And sure enough, the next year he goes off for 1,200 yards. Because you just can't do that. You can't do that to young people. It's not fair. It's a whole nother level they're going to. And you make it sound like it's an easy transition. And it's not an easy transition for any of us when we get promoted to a bigger position that requires more responsibility and all kinds of things you haven't done. And you're not going to be very good early on it. But your boss, if he or she is a good boss, they see the work ethic and the professionalism in you, so they invest the time and the patience to help you get better at your position and your responsibilities in your promotion. That's what good bosses do. And that's what good coaches do. You work with the player and you get them through their early stages of trying to figure out how to play football at the highest level in the world. It's just one of those things. A Kader Kohou can come from Division II and make a seamless transition. And then there could be a Noah Igbenogany who played at Auburn, and no matter how much God-given ability he has, he can't figure it out. He can't put it all together. It's what you cannot explain as a personnel director and as a coach, as a scout. These are the things that's the one thing they can't answer. All right. How is Jake Garcia going to perform at the college level? We know what he was at high school, but how's he going to perform at the college level? Ugh. And that's just the way it is. From high school to college and from college to the NFL, you're now assessing a player and trying to imagine if they can make the transition to a much more difficult level. So that projection, that prediction becomes that much harder. And that's the problem. So when you're in the pros and you're looking at a kid at West Virginia or at Georgia Southern or at Washington, you then have to say, okay, how is he going to be able to handle things here in the AFC East? And that's roll the dice. And you have no idea what you're going to get. Deion Jordan or Tate Martell, John Beck, whatever he did at, Utah, where John Beck was at, and whatever you thought he looked like or whatever. And then when he got here, it was like, whoa. Yeah, that piece doesn't fit in this puzzle. It's a really difficult thing. But what the worst thing to do is to just give up on a player in their first year when you really haven't gotten an opportunity to really see them and give them a chance to grow, give them a chance to make mistakes. Noah, I gave him time, but that's it. This is the last year I gave him. And it's over already. This is fourth year, bro. Enough already. You've had every opportunity in practice. You've gotten into games, and you've never made any progress, and you can't put it together. And it's all here for him because it's not God-given ability. He doesn't lack that. It's just here, putting it all together. But Noah, we can say, okay, well, we've given him plenty of time. He's been here for 4 years. What more do you want? That's it. But giving up on Noah in the first year, that's not fair. Just like it isn't fair to give up on Pat Surtain or Jason Taylor or Paul Soliai or many others in their first year that I can just reel off the names, you know? And I'm not talking about first year like Adewale Ogunleye that they got him from Indiana, but he was rehabbing his first year. You know? Okay, that's different. But I can name so many Dolphin players and players all around the NFL that really didn't do anything in their first year or second sometimes, and then grew into the players that they became. All-stars, all-pros, Hall of Famers. It happens. But to give up on anybody after 1 year is just one interception. That's it. Who's that? Oh, is that Noah? Yeah. Noah doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. Here. This is his problem. Nothing else. Nothing more. It's not physical ability. He can't understand the reading and the reacting and everything that he needs to reading what's going on from the receiver, the offense. He's mentally, he just can't put it together. You know, it's just one of those things that he can't make the transition quick enough to what he has to do out on the field. And from changing directions to reading the route to reading the receiver and understanding what the receiver does, he can't put all of that information together to then quickly react, unfortunately. Those days are done for him. But they find plenty of other guys, and that's the beauty of it. You can make a mistake with Noah as long as you can find Trill and you can find Needham and you can find Kohu, you know? You can do that. It's not a problem. That to me is a silly discussion already at this point. You know, it's the dumbest thing in the world to say, well, they missed on Noah, and then they hit on all those other guys in the secondary. Shut up. Like, shut up already. Stop. You know, whatever. The offensive line, okay. You missed on a few there. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Because they feel really good about Eichenberg. I can tell you that. From inside the building. Inside the building, they feel excellent about Eichenberg. And if Eichenberg comes through along with Hunt, it actually ends up becoming fine. Because if you hit on two and you miss on the other two, whatever, dude. You can move on. It's not a big deal. You know? Robert Jones has become a good either starter or fill-in guy, at least, if they put Eichenberg back. I'll be interested to see what happens with Eichenberg. Robert Jason, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, Big O, Feliz Navidad. You're an extra gift today. Well, thank you. That's very nice. I don't even think my wife has ever said that, so that's actually pretty good. Mark Smith says, Kohu doesn't know what he doesn't know and doesn't let it bother him. Uses the technique they taught him. Mark, let me tell you something. Kader Kohu is a really good kind of oddity. Okay. I'm not gonna go the Omar route. Oh, he's a weirdo, like what he did to Tua. He's an oddity. He's mature beyond his years. He is composed beyond his years. Kader Kohu is not your normal young man coming out of college. And I guess it's because he's also been through life-changing situations. Because this is a kid that knows what it's like to not have any freedom and not have anything practically in his country. And so, my Lord, it takes a lottery so you can get the hell out of there because of the limitations in that country. So he knows what it's like to have a hell of a lot less than what he has here. And I think he ends up appreciating being an American more than any of us Americans. See what I'm saying? And I think that comes through in his play, that he doesn't take anything for granted. Not a play, not a series, not a game, not a practice, not a tackle. It's almost like he is appreciative of everything he has to do out there. And so he has a purpose. There's a lot of immigrants come here with a purpose and this has been going on for hundreds of years in America, from the days of the Spanish and the English and the French and everybody coming here, and they're escaping other areas that they want to try to build a better life for themselves. And that's been going on for hundreds of years. And they come to this country because this is the ultimate country to be able to build whatever you can. It's up to you to build whatever you can, right? And so immigrants come here with a purpose, a fire, a desire, because they're coming from nowhere. So it doesn't matter if, you're English or you're Polish or you're German or you're Jewish or you're Cuban or you're Haitian or you're Puerto Rican or you're Nigerian or whatever. And you come from somewhere where it's not better than here. And so when you get here, you work like a maniac to set up the foundation for your family. And then the rest of us that are born after that here, we don't live that. We don't have that kind of same fire. The people that had that fire were your fathers and your mothers and your grandfathers and your grandmothers and your great-grandmothers and your great-grandfathers. Those are the people that got here, and they had a fire to build up and make a foundation for their families. So then the rest of their families that grow out from here, they're kind of spoiled, like the rest of us that we grew up here in America. I didn't have to grow up in Cuba with nothing like my parents did. You know what I mean? I'm lucky. So I don't know what it's like. So immigrants come here with a, that Kohu fire. My dad had that Kohu fire in the late 50s. Just like a lot of your dads and your grandfathers and your great-grandfathers when they came here and built their businesses and built the foundations for their families. And that's what you see from Kohu. You see a guy that truly appreciates being here and knows that everything he's building here, he could never build where he was at. So he's going to appreciate that NFL check a hell of a lot more than the second or third generation American that's here. It's just one of those things. So Kohu he's special, man. He's special. And I think that's what makes him such a good little player already at this level. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes. But the professionalism, the physicality, the a lot of good plays that he makes, all of that overshadows the few mistakes that he makes. But he's a youngin from Division II and has not been playing football since he was a little kid, So to me, the Kohu story is as special as it gets. And he's a special dude. And once you're around him, you'll sense it. He's who he's wired a lot like? Javon Holland. Javon Holland plays like that too. He carries himself like that too. Like his foundation must be amazing, dude. His parents, the people that brought that guy up, Javon Holland, shit. You could tell that at home, whoever instilled what's in that dude, you can tell it's quality. Wow. It blows you away, the maturity and the professionalism that those kind of cats show, man. It's impressive as hell. Venmo, we got a little love Marco Ferrante, thank you, sir. He says, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Oh, appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Marco. Very nice of you, sir. Very nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see who we got here. Yoshi. Thank you, Yoshi, for the love on the super chat. Merry Christmas, Big O. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day with family. Fins up. Thank you, sir. Already had a great day yesterday with our Noche Buena meal. Had a little pork yesterday. We were talking about this. Would it be blasphemous if on our remember, I'm Latin now, okay? So, you got to think a little Latin here on this side. If we had pork and turkey on Christmas Day, because you do it for Thanksgiving, but I love turkey. And we were talking about it yesterday. It's like, maybe we should add turkey to the mix for Christmas, okay? Because I don't think Latins do that. All right, I'm just talking through one lens now, because I cannot speak for others. But normally Cubans, it's pig, bro. Always. It's always been pig on the 24th on Noche Buena. But would it be blasphemous as with the Cuban background to have turkey and pig? Anybody out there Latin that you have turkey and pig for Christmas? Just wondering. And don't forget, by the way, to smash the hell out of the like button, okay? We got over 500 people watching right now. Please smash the hell out of the like button. It's very important. And subscribe to the channel. Let's get over 17. We want to get to 20,000, but let's get us to 17. We're already at 16.9. Been stuck there for the last 2 days. Let's get into the 17 already. Jeff Matricino, I want to say it is. He says, I feel like the stage is set for a big win or a big loss today, hoping it's a big win to get rolling. The Pats are going to play angry next week. The Pats don't have any offense. I mean, listen, it's not going to be easy because they've got a good defense. But I don't fear the Pats offense. And let me tell you something, man. I feel good about today, man. I think the team's going to come out and play, strong. You can do a Mojo turkey. Mr. Mojo Riser. So a little Mojo turkey. Okay. That's not bad. Little Mojo turkey. Josh Allen says ham. I'm not a big ham guy. Ham's all right for me. I know I'm sorry for those of you out there. I know some of you probably pray to the altar of the ham, but I'm not really big on ham. Eating pork is blasphemy any day. Oh, okay. I know where you're coming from now. Okay. Turkey with pineapple sauce will change your life. It might, because I might be throwing up for a while. I'd have to try it first. That sounds like fire, Big O. Lechon and a little turkey. I mean, Big O is Die Hard 2 a Christmas. Of course it is. Of course it's a Christmas movie. They're all Christmas movies. Die Hard 2. Yeah, bro. Those are action. They're Christmas action movies. That's what they are. So, my thoughts on Gesicki. He's pure class. I feel terrible for the young man. He will find his way next year. Somebody will sign him in an offense that they could use him. I'm very disappointed. And this is the hard-headedness that Mike McDaniel has shown me so far this year, that you're setting your ways in your offense and you can't find a way to add a playmaker to your offense. one way or another that it's so hard for you. It's like pulling teeth to put the guy on the field for 15, 20 plays. I don't get it. I don't understand it. He's a big target, makes it easier for Tua to hit him. Like any quarterback needs, you give him a bigger target, bigger radius. It makes their lives so much easier. I don't get it. But I got to tell you something. I've got nothing but admiration for Mike Gesicki. I wish him the best. I will be rooting for him wherever he goes, wherever he lands. I just hope it's not like the Jets or the freaking Patriots or something. But wherever he goes, I hope he has a Hall of Fame career from here on out, because he has had every reason to mother F everybody, both Flo and this guy, and he has carried himself like a pro's pro, man. Mike Gesicki and Tua Tagovailoa are two of the most professional players I have ever seen in my entire career as a reporter. Okay? That's what I can tell you about those two guys. I've never seen two guys handle adversity better than those two gentlemen. And they should be the ultimate example for every rookie symposium in the history of mankind from here on out. Because they're better men than I ever will be. Because I would not have been able to put up with Flo that much. Okay? I would have lost it with Flo a whole bunch of times. I can tell you that. And if I'm Mike Gesicki, I would have lost my mind already, with these two coaches not using a guy that is really, really talented and can make a boat ton of catches. Castaway Chris, thank you, sir. Castaway Chris Fishing. Merry Christmas. Thank you, sir, for the love and the super chat. Very kind of you. All right, 1 hour down. We got one more to go. Lee Sterling will join us at 12:15. I want to get into a couple of subjects too, Dolphins-wise. Let's get into something that needs to change today. We'll do that to start off hour number 2 of the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show right here on the Sports Talk 305 network.
You're listening to Miami Dolphins coverage on the Sports Talk 305 network, brought to you by EJDconstruction.com. This is the Miami Dolphins pregame show with Orlando Alzugaray.
Red Recover now offers a simple-to-use, professional-grade light therapy device designed to help your dog heal and live a healthier life. Red Recover emits red and infrared light therapy based on the same science that NASA developed, all in a soft, flexible housing pad powered by a convenient, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Say yes to science and give your dog the care it deserves with Red Recover.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, great. You got a doorbell camera. Now you got a front row seat to your house getting robbed. No. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Get out of my house!
Oh, Mom's jewelry. There goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slowens, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, a free doorbell camera.
Free?
One that'll actually work for you. It's not total security unless it's the Sloman Shield. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Welcome back to the best coverage of Miami Dolphins football on any platform. This is the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Pregame Show on the Sports Talk 305 network. Here's your host, Orlando Alzugaray.
Alrighty. You know, we like to get you prepared for the matchup. We got it? Yes? All right. Let's bring it up. We got Roger. Let's see. We gotta get Roger. We gotta get Solo D. Get us prepared for the game as we get ready for our 1 o'clock kickoff. Remember, we're gonna be on post-game show the second the game ends. Marcel Louis Jacques, Cameron Wolf, Joe Shad will be joining us on the post-game show, so we'll have plenty of folks to get it going. Roger Morant always likes to get us ready for the game, so let's get Roger going on a Christmas Day game for the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. Take it away, Raj.
What's up, Phinz fans? Merry Christmas to all, except the Packers. Let's go. The Dolphins play the Packers on Christmas Day. Time to start another winning streak. Let's play. 3 games left on the schedule to right the ship. It begins with the Pats and Jets back-to-back. This team is growing every weekend. It's exciting. When we put it all together, it'll be frightening. Doubters say we're on the verge of collapse. They lack the vision. Take a breath. Relax. They did the work and have the calluses. Efker Sims and Alice putting on a better show than the Aurora Borealis. Dimes. Who delivers in stride? So many stalls on offense of the teams will run and hide. Try to gain some yards and matriculate the ball. Attempt to run against our Davids. It's like Simon and a wall. Because with Daniel, he's so drippy, he will lead us to the crown. Bring us back to glory. Miami Dolphins Title Town. Title Town. Waddle, waddle. Title Town. The Dolphins don't move the chains. They score. With Tua, Waddle, Wilson, Hill, and more. We're headed to the Super Bowl. You know, just 3 more games to make it right. This team has great, they'll fight. Aaron Rodgers and the pack have come to town. Just play our game, don't overreact, they're going down. All I want for Christmas, just one thing, to win the Super Bowl and finally win a ring. A Super Bowl ring. It's been a long time coming, Dolphin fans, but we have reason. Our time is near. And do you know why? Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill.
What a thrill.
Tua Waddle
Tua
Hill.
Waddle Hill.
What a thrill.
What a
Tua
thrill.
Waddle Hill.
Tua Waddle Hill.
What a thrill.
What a thrill. Cheetah. There we go. A little cheetah. So Roger didn't do it by the pool today. He did it with the family in the truck at the game. You got to love it. You got to love it. All right. We will get we'll get the solo D one later on in the hour. After Lee Sterling, we'll do solo D. You got to love it. That is good stuff. Victory Perdomo cigar after the win. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A Victory Perdomo cigar right after the win. Got to light a fat one right after the win. Luis Gonzalez says, Orlando, I'm Cuban and 81 years old. We used to serve both in our family. I'm talking 1950s in Havana. Remember those days in Cuba? We had everything. Well, I don't know about that, but yes, before the animal took over, they had everything. It was like a normal country. It was a fun place. Hell, people used to go party in Havana back in the day. What a shame. That place could have been like a paradise if it was free the entire time. It would have been monster already. It would have been full of giant hotels and casinos and all that. It would have been, one hell of a place to go vacation instead of a big old jail, because that's what Cuba is, right? Cuba, North Korea, Russia, China, they're just big giant jails is what they are, unfortunately. Sad, man. Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, Batista wasn't a saint. No, definitely not. Definitely not. But they were better in back in the 40s and 50s and 30s and all that. That they had it going on that they could have headed in a better direction, unfortunately. But that's what happens, man. What are you gonna do? Let's see, what else do we have going on? Oh, okay. I do want to talk about this. Do I have time? I don't know if I have enough time because Lee's about to chime in just a couple of minutes. So maybe I'll do it right after Lee. By the way, Bills did defeat the Bears yesterday, 35-13. Not that you were really expecting the Bears to win. But the other stuff went as planned, right? The Jags beating the Jets and the Bengals beating the Pats. But I will say this, none of it means anything at all. Okay? Dolphins need to, like I said, to open up the show, they need to do this on their own. No help, no win 2 of 3, and then hope this guy loses and that guy loses, and you get in and win all 3, you're in, and build that momentum. That's what it's all about. So it's really not about the other teams losing. I will say this, yesterday, props to the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys is one of those teams that I have zero faith in. I just look at them as a team that's going to fold all the time. And that game that they put up against the Eagles, and Dak Prescott made some big-ass throws in that game. Props to the Cowboys, because those are the kind of games that they normally choke away. And they didn't choke that one away. I got to give them a little credit there, man. Because I have fun at the expense of the Cowboys all the time. But, you got to be fair in this world, man. When people deserve their props, you got to give them some love. And that was a big win against the Eagles yesterday by the Cowboys. Did not see that. And even with and I know Minshew was playing and it wasn't their starting quarterback. I got to say, Minshew played all right, man. He still can be not a great starter in this league, but he still is a, back-end starter in this league. There aren't 32 quarterbacks starting better than Gardner Minshew. That's the one thing. That's what I came away from that game. When I'm watching, I'm like, he's not bad, dude. Like that's a pretty damn good backup quarterback for you. That's actually a really good backup quarterback for you, overall. But when you look at some of the guys that are starting in this league, he's actually better than. He's not a franchise guy or anything like that, but he's all right, man. He's not too bad, man. Stephen Harris says, "You're right, Big O. Dolphins got to do their job to clinch their playoff spot. Can't depend on screw that depending on other teams. You got to just win out. Period. Okay, just win out. That's it. Cowboys were better with Cooper Rush. Yeah, sure they were. Yeah, Minshew did good yesterday, man. I got to give him a little love yesterday, man. Yeah, he's better than Zach Wilson. Hell yeah, he's better than all of the Jets quarterbacks. He's better than Mike White too. For sure. Guaranteed, dude. Yes. No doubt. All right, as promised, we told you Lee Sterling would be chiming in, getting ready for a little Paramount Sports. We had several games yesterday. We got 3 on the slate today. We got 1 on Monday. Let's bring him aboard from Paramount Sports at Twitter, at Paramount Sports, on the website, ParamountSports.com. He is Lee Sterling. Lee, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? What happened? What happened to Lee? What happened to Lee? We lost him. There we go.
No, I don't know if he was ready. He had something on in the background, and then I guess he clicked out, and then he was coming back on.
Okay.
It looked like he was watching a small 22 video or something.
All right. I was like, wow.
Bring him up.
Once I saw you, I was like, wow, Lee Sterling changed. He looks different now. Like he switched quickly.
Went from his from a quarterback to a lineman.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Sean Stanley now. There he is. Now he is back and ready to go. Let's bring him aboard. Good afternoon, sir. Happy holidays.
Cold where I am. I'm in New York City, so
oh shit! Wow,
it's in the teens here. It dropped to single digits 2 nights ago. So
you guys are just inside the house the entire time, then, right?
You can't do much. The craziest thing is my dog. I have a Labradoodle from Florida. Loves it. I mean, he just wants to stand there. I'm like, listen, I need to get back inside. I'm cold. I need to watch some games. But he would just stand there. It's the craziest thing we've ever seen. Single digits the other night, just standing there, loving the wind going through his hair. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. That looks like Sean Stanley, actually.
Okay.
Sean Stanley. We go to New York.
Yep.
And we're there last year. We're broadcasting at Sloman's. And so we're staying at a hotel in Manhattan, and we're going to go walk over to Slattery's, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 25, 30 degrees or something. And Sean is in a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Seriously. I'm not joking. The man is in a T-shirt.
I'm right by the East River. I'm in Manhattan, so enjoying it. So
I've got a jacket and 2 sweaters under, and I'm still freezing my ass off. And Sean from South Florida walking like in a T-shirt, like nothing. It's
the best thing about New York City, even if it's cold. Bagels for breakfast, the best. Pizza for lunch, and then Chinese food for dinner. You can do it almost every day.
There you go. You're all set.
You're right.
All right. What'd you think of the games yesterday? By the way, I got to give the Cowboys some love because that's a game that they normally choke away, and Minshew played well too in that game.
He did.
I was thinking about this. There aren't 32 starting quarterbacks better than Gardner Minshew. Like the back end teams, like the Jets, he's better than all the quarterbacks for the Jets. Actually,
talking about the Jets, I went to the game last Sunday. I was not going to venture out in the rain on Thursday night, but we went last Sunday. I never had such a good time hearing all the Jets fans curse, and I mean the F-bombs and the what are we doing? And I mean, you would think that Zach Wilson robbed banks, killed people. I mean, he's done. I don't know how you keep him there. I mean,
no, you can't. You can't.
Well, here's the problem now. They're going to have to cut a lot of money. I mean, his salary is fully guaranteed for 4 years. So I think it's like a combined $10 million. Do you maybe keep him as a backup and Mike White as a starter? That's
problem is that anytime. See, I don't think Mike White is a long-term starter. I think eventually they figure him out, and the play will decline slowly but surely, and then you're going to have to depend on Zach again. And then when he goes out there and he doesn't play well, then the whole it's just a mess. And I don't know if that kid mentally that's a good place for him to live now, because he can't really have a life out in the streets.
He just doesn't. Here's the problem: when things went south for him, he just doesn't seem like he's upset at all. Like it's no big deal. Right. And, I think that at least the Jets fans want you to show some emotion, and he shows none. How about this? Something to think about. Maybe they go after Lamar Jackson. I think they're going to have the cap room.
I mean,
they have a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys.
Okay, but you got to change your whole offense for him. And to me, that makes no sense whatsoever.
What offense? What offense, Big O?
It's okay.
They're going to have Breece Hall.
All right, I can't argue with that one.
Okay, they got a lot of guys on rookie contracts, and their defense is really good.
Breece Hall will work well with that, actually.
I agree.
And that kind
Breece
of an
Hall's
offense,
so much better than who the Ravens have had over the last couple of years at running back. So Breece Hall might be a top 5 running back in 2 years.
He's a stud. He's a stud. When I saw him this year, I was like, wow, they got themselves one hell of a player, because that guy.
About the draft? The draft that they had,
they've drafted well.
Yeah.
They've drafted well. The last couple of years, they've drafted well. It's just they fell in love. They fell in love with some kid in a workout, which is that's the thing that, again, amazes me with the whole Zach Wilson thing. It was all about the workout. And it was like, really, dude, that's what you fell in love with? You fell in love with the kid's
Think about how
workout?
close they came. They came really close. I think they scored a touchdown late in one game, and the punter made a tackle on one of the punt returns. Mm-hmm. Either one of those things don't happen, they got Trevor Lawrence. And can you imagine the Dolphins having to deal with him, having to deal with Josh Allen? But the only good thing is the Patriots now are they're almost not even competitive. I think Bill Belichick should have retired or should retire now.
Well, I mean, if this is what he thinks offense is all about, and he's not willing to bring somebody else in, that he delegates that offense, but it seems like he needs to be in control of everything. Right. It's almost like maybe that's why all his assistants fail, because he puppeteers all his assistants, and they actually don't really get to be their own men. And then the other thing that he does is they don't associate with the media while they're there, so they don't even develop those personal skills. And then now you thrust them into a head coaching spot, and they really haven't handled everything on and off the field on their own. And so maybe that's why they all fail. I don't know, but it's really weird how everything that falls from that tree fails.
You hit it on the head. Also, what has he done without Tom Brady? Nothing. So
nothing. He's definitely a defensive genius, because he's always been that. He was always that.
But now, the last 3 or 4 years, their drafts have been horrendous.
Right.
They don't have a receiver on the team or who's injured.
They've never been able to draft a receiver.
Wow.
Even in the Brady years, they couldn't draft it. They found Edelman, because he was a quarterback that turned receiver late. Yeah. I think he was a late pick or an undrafted free agent.
I think he was like 5th, 6th round. He was a quarterback at Akron, I think, or something like that.
Right. Troy Brown was like a special teamer that became a receiver. But, they drafted the Jackson kid. They drafted the other Florida kid.
Harry from Arizona State.
And Nikhil Harry, they've drafted a lot of guys that have failed completely for them. They have been really bad. They've been much better at unearthing tight ends than they have been in trying to get wide receivers
defensive
overall.
Tackles, rush ends. I mean, Josh Uche, who I didn't think was going to do much from Miami, has really come on. So
they did find the Ramondre Stevenson kid.
Right.
I like him. He's a player. He's a player. I wish
but
Miami
look at that game. What were they doing on third down, running up the middle? I mean,
no, it's just it's a bad offense. You don't really have a real offensive coordinator there. You got a defensive guy trying to play the position, and that's just or trying to coach the position, which is just absolutely weird.
Here's what's crazy. Also, the Dolphins. Everyone's thinking like, there's 3 teams that are above them clearly: Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Kansas City. But after that, there's not much. I mean,
no.
Look at some of these teams. Like Baltimore, I don't think they're that good a team.
No, yeah, and I
Tennessee.
I don't fear their quarterback. If once you get into the playoffs, if you could stop the run, then you'll beat Baltimore every single time because they're not going to match you in the passing game. Unfortunately, once you take a lead on Baltimore, it becomes a real problem for them once they fall behind. So I'm with you there. All right, before we get to the Dolphins game. Let's get to the other 2 brutal games. Do you like any of the other 2 games? They probably thought at the beginning of the year it looked like sexy matchups. By now, this is the sexy matchup of the day, and after that, the next 2 are not sexy. So,
I will say this. So I have Tampa Bay. I have the second leg of a 2-team 6-point teaser. I played on Thursday night the first half Jacksonville. The second half, I have Tampa Bay, and I've teased it down to 1.5. If you want another play, I do think Tampa Bay's the side. So think Arizona playing a third-string quarterback. I mean, Colt McCoy, when he was in there, I mean, he was competent, a mediocre backup, but just couldn't move in the pocket. Now they're going to a third-string quarterback. That's a coaching staff that's done. Cliff Kingsbury never got the job done. So they extended him, I think, to 27. They'll be paying him off. I think he ends up getting fired. And I think Tampa Bay is probably the right side. I think they win that game like 27-7, 27-10. I would go with Tampa Bay there. Just so much more talent. At least they've got Brady and some receivers. And then I do like the Monday night game. I like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are coming on. They get James back on defense. Maybe Derwin James may be the best defensive player in the NFL when he's healthy. That's if and when. And he's going to play. And they've got both of their receivers back.
And the Colts are bad.
I mean, no Jonathan Taylor. Nick Foles is going to start. I forgot that he was their third-string quarterback. So,
okay, what's the line with the Chargers?
Right now, it's it's still 4, sitting at 4.
Okay, all right.
It went up to 5, 5.5, down to 4. So
okay, all right, I like that. How are you guys doing at Paramount Sports in basketball and hockey?
Good. It's been a good run. No hockey today and tomorrow.
No,
they take 3 days off, kind of like the All-Star break.
Panthers are off till Thursday, I think it is.
Yeah,
God,
and they need it. It's been horrible. As great a season, the regular season one last year, this season's been horrible. The injuries, the defense, terrible. Special teams.
No, it's just changing that whole scheme and the new coach, and it just has not gone well at all. And the goaltending never turned the corner. You never got the Bob that was in Columbus. No. And unfortunately, Knight has made he might have taken some steps back this year, actually.
I think the last couple of weeks he's played better. So he got hurt. He ends up getting hurt. So that's the problem there.
I haven't been impressed with him this year. No. I haven't been impressed overall with the goaltending anyways, as it is. Although he didn't play too bad on Friday night, considering how much he got peppered, man. Oh, holy crap. He had what do you have? I know I wrote it somewhere.
I was thinking about going to that game, Big O, and when I saw it was single digits. I'm like, I'm not waiting on the train stand for 10, 15 minutes for a train in single digit temperatures. And I was happy. I didn't have to witness that 5-1 beatdown.
That's about the only saving grace there in New York, right? Because at least you could still get around because of the damn subways, right? I mean, that's.
But if you got to wait for a train, not so great.
Yeah, you're freezing your ass off, I would imagine. All right. Tell them about Paramount Sports if they want to get on board with your hot streak.
Just go to ParamountSports.com. We have a 10-day, all three sports, all access pass. Never done this before in the holidays. All the football, and there's a lot of bowls coming up. Yep. We've got all them. We've got NFL next week and also finishing this week, today and tomorrow. And basketball, NBA, we've got a big card today. Got two big selections. Hockey, so all three sport, all access pass, just $97. Normally $297. ParamountSports.com.
There you go. ParamountSports.com. Lee Sterling, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, my friend.
Sounds
thank
good,
you,
buddy. See you next Sunday.
There you go. You know it. There he is, Lee Sterling, baby. ParamountSports.com. Go check it out. There is no way McDaniel's on any hot seat. No. Why would anybody? No, man. No. There's no hot seat for anybody, really. I mean, look, McDaniel is a new coach. He did inherit the defensive coordinator and the special teams coach. He may want his own guys. You know what I mean? I don't believe, Crossman was one that was kind of iffy for me, but I think he's done enough that it's all right. He doesn't have a returner. I can't necessarily blame him there. And you know me with Boyer, I can't blame him for how bad they are because of all the damn injuries. And I think the man is trying, and he's trying every crazy thing he can possibly pull, and he doesn't have enough, and he's stuck with certain players that just have no flexibility, and it doesn't help him as a coordinator. It's tough. It's tough. I don't really think anybody deserves to be fired, to be quite honest. And McDaniel's done a fantastic job. Okay. Are there a couple things that I'm concerned with? Yeah, of course, but it's nothing big. He's a young coach. He can figure things out. You got to give him some, again, we go back to the earlier conversation. We have to have some patience. We have to give people time to grow into their positions, into whatever they're doing. When you elevate them, when you give them a new spot, there's going to be a learning curve here. And that's what's going on with everybody that's new. If you have a new quarterback, or if you have a new, defensive player, or if you have a coach, it's the way it is. Now, here's what I will tell you, what we need to see big time in this game and in the next 3 weeks. The wide receivers. While the wide receivers have been a big part of the success this year, I can't deny that. You can't deny that. And any of us can't. But the last couple of weeks, too many mistakes. Either you run the wrong route, either you're dropping passes. Okay. It just, these are the things that cannot happen anymore for the next couple of weeks. Can't be running the wrong routes anymore. You can't be dropping footballs. Okay. This is the stuff that has to end. The mental mistakes cannot happen anymore. Okay. This last week, 2 receivers dropped touchdowns in one possession. Unacceptable. Tyreek Hill has had a great year. You got to catch that ball in the end zone. Jalen Waddle, as much as we all love Jalen Waddle, he has his brain farts. He's got to fine-tune those brain farts. Trent Sherfield last week, dude, you had the ball in your hands and you dropped a touchdown. The guy that was here last year that I loved, and I wish they would have brought him back, his name is Mac Hollins. Remember, I'm a big fan of Mac Hollins. That guy's done nothing but made plays for the Raiders. Last week, he made a catch similar to Sheffield's. In fact, it might have been harder than the one Trent had, and he caught it. That's the example right there. I saw it and I go, that's exactly what Trent Sherfield has to do. No excuses. Braylon Sanders. Well, coach, if you're going to play him, well, then you better make sure that the young man makes the right mental decisions out there. And Tua threw a ball that was probably perfect to go for a touchdown. And Braylon Sanders ruined that entire play. And in the Chargers game, the receivers did not do a good job either. They dropped passes. They ran routes half-ass. Sorry, but you got to do better. And if there's a group that I would call out for the next 3 weeks, it's the wide receivers. They're going to depend on you. Your coach loves to pass the ball. Even if they're running the ball and running well, like last week, he's still going to lean to the pass. So Tyreek, Waddle, Trent, Braylon Sanders, you guys have to make the plays. Cedric, I wish they would use Cedric Wilson a little bit more instead of Braylon Sanders. I don't get it. I don't understand it. The guy's a competent receiver. So this is where I lay some responsibility for the next 3 weeks. And that's the wide receivers, not just today. We can't have any more of those mental, brain farts over the next couple of weeks from the wide receiver position. Them guys need to step up and step up in a big time way. What else do we have? Remember, you can reach out to us on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, where you can make a donation on Cash App or Venmo. Appreciate you, as always, out there making a donation through Cash App or Venmo. Thank you all out there. Remember, you can also donate Bitcoin too, which is always my favorite. Let's see, what else do we got here? Kevin says, out of all the people you talk to in your talks with Omar Kelly are by far the most entertaining. LOL. I always got to grab my popcorn. Rodgers is overrated. He has one Super Bowl victory, just like Joe Flacco. Yeah, but the difference is he's been carrying his team for a long time, and they haven't given him great receivers overall. I don't blame him. He's had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. There's been a lot of inconsistencies with that defense. I can't say that he's had a Super Bowl team every year where he should have way more titles. So I'm not going to do that to the guy. Okay. Flacco played out of his mind that 1 year, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, but it's not like he ever did it again. Whereas Rodgers every year pretty much has a great year and plays with nobody receivers a lot of times. I wouldn't, I know he's a weirdo, and I know he's kind of aloof, if that's what you want to call him. I get all of that with Rodgers. But when it comes to his play, see, that's the problem. It's football. So then Marino is nothing then, right? Because if Rodgers and Flacco, you're not impressed with one Super Bowl and Marino has none, was it really Marino's fault, or did you watch the games? That's my problem. Are you watching the games? You all like to make it all end all be all on one person when it comes to football, and it takes a lot of factors. And that's why I don't pick on Josh Boyer like the way some of you do. There's a crap ton of talent missing from the guy. He can't do his job. It's hard. That same reasoning right there that you're not impressed with Rodgers, then you think Dan Marino sucks. Then you think Dan Marino's a jag because he doesn't have a championship. And the only one he went to, he got dogged by San Francisco. Again, not his fault. Go look at that San Francisco team. By the end of the night, you just looked at it and said, man, they're just way better than Miami. Period. Way better offensive line. Way better defense. Way better running game. Montana had more to work with than Marino. Period. You switch quarterbacks, and Marino's the one that wins the title, and Montana loses. But that to me, that's where there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to football fans. Some football fans, when they really don't look at the totality of everything and then you lay it on one person when football, my Lord, it is the ultimate team game. If you tell me Rodgers was in several Super Bowls and he choked out, and look, he won one, but in the other two, he choked here and he choked there and he threw this away and he didn't show up or whatever. He only showed up one out of the three. Then we can talk. But I've seen a guy that's played his ass off every year, and a lot of times with injured lines, sometimes with running backs that aren't good enough, sometimes with receivers that are just guys, and he's got to make them better than what they really are. I disagree with you, man. And again, that kind of reasoning, then you really have a low opinion of Dan Marino. Then you have to. That's for your reasoning like that. Then you don't give any respect to Marino whatsoever. If you're not impressed with Rodgers having won, then boy, you must be pissed that Marino has none. At the end of the day, can you get it done or not? And he can get it done. There's no doubt. And he will be a pain in the ass to deal with today. And especially with a defense that has a lot of holes in it. All Dolphins got to do is run that football. Well, if they have success running the football, then you keep running. If you don't have success, then you get back to passing the ball. Because who knows? See, the strange part about this game is, what if the Packers show up today and they just have their day where they're really good against the run? They matched up well against Miami. They're getting the better of the offensive linemen. They're figuring it out. And then Miami can't run, but they go on to pass. And it's the weirdest thing in the world that sometimes that happens, because it's so. Remember the Browns game? We thought that they would run the hell out of them there, and they didn't. They ended up passing like crazy. No, it was the Texans game. I'm sorry. It was the Texans game that they were really bad against the run, and they ended up lighting them up like a Christmas tree in that half. Now, then the injuries came, and then that became a problem for the rest. But in that game, Houston was really bad against the run. And, okay, there's a game to get the run game going. No, they went out to pass. So whether they do opposite of what you think, or the opponent that you think is weak in the pass or weak in the run, that day they have it going on. And they just play well. And those are the unpredictable things. So Rod says, our D is predicated on having bookend corners. We haven't had that all year. They have had to shift and adjust on the fly. Not Boyer's fault alone. D has tackled terrible all year. Just tackle. Yep. Thank you, Rob, for having some common sense there. Kevin says, Rodgers is better than Brett Favre, and some say Favre is top 5 or 6 of all time. Both have one ring. Rodgers has 4 MVPs and more postseason wins and better stats. Rodgers is a stud, dude. He's just a weirdo. Okay? That's all. He doesn't get along with his family or whatever and can't stay with one woman or whatever. Clearly, he's not a guy that is good with relationships. Whatever. I get that, but the guy can ball, man. He can play. He's a flat-out great quarterback. But if you're dissing him, like I said, I'll spin it on you and say, well, then obviously you have a really low, because you can't have a higher opinion of Marino if you don't respect what Rodgers has accomplished, because you're not willing to understand the position Rodgers was in or Marino was in. You know, what am I going to call Ernie Banks a choker because he played for the Cubs? It's not his fault he was on a mediocre franchise. He's a great player. Just like I feel terrible for Archie Manning and I feel terrible for Steve Bartkowski. You know, there are guys over the years that were really awesome players and they were stuck, like Mitch Richmond forever, stuck with the Sacramento Kings. I know he got a title late in his career with the Lakers, I believe it was, right? But like the Mitch Richmond that you used to like love was the guy with Golden State and the guy with, obviously, you know, the Kings for many years. And it's not his fault. He played on the Kings. But the guy was a hell of a player. Monster player. Played on a terrible franchise. He played his best years with a terrible franchise. What do you think of Devon Bess? He's one of the reasons why I became a Phin fan. Devon Bess was a really nice young man. I know he had some mental issues, and that's kind of what derailed his life and his career. He was a heck of a slot receiver. For a couple of years, he had it going on where he was a really good slot receiver. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, mental health is something very real. Okay? And there's a lot of people affected by it, and it affects them. Some you can control, most of it you can't. And it's tough. Sucks. But Devon Bess, God bless him. That was a sad story, put it that way, because that's a young man that could easily play in this league, and because of mental issues. Yeah, Dan Fouts, no ring. Dan Fouts was a hell of a player, dude. Awesome quarterback. Not his fault. They never had the defense. Those Charger teams never ever could stop anybody. It was a lot like the Dolphins teams. Dolphins could never stop anybody under Marino at all. Dolphins and Chargers in the era of Dan Fouts and Dan Marino, their defenses sucked. They were a joke. Okay? A flat-out joke is what they had as defenses. Those guys would put up points all the time, and their crappy defenses, all they would do is piss away the game every single time. And that's never happened this season. Not one time has the offense gone out there and they were lighting it up, and then the defense gave up more points than the offense. No. Every loss has to do with the offense sputtering and screwing up. Defense and all of their losses kept them in all those games. And the offense had to finish their job, and they failed. That has not, this season, what happened to Marino and Fouts all the time has never happened to McDaniel, Tua, in the offense. Not one time. Not one time can we sit there and go, wow, the offense was lights out and the defense was just terrible and gave up more points. None. All the losses have to do with offensive failures. That's the difference. Marino and Fouts, most of their losses came from defensive failures. Obvious defensive failures. Coryell and Shula did a absolutely terrible job of building a defense around those guys. Terrible. Dilfer has a ring, and he couldn't carry Marino's pads. The ring argument is a bad one. Of course it is. It's ridiculous. It doesn't really show that you understand what's really going on in the football game. That's the sad part. Ken says Rodgers is great, and he also was able to develop behind another great one in Favre. You mean Rodgers? That Rodgers was able to develop behind Favre, yeah. And it wasn't like Favre was helping him, right? Apparently, right? So, another thing you got to love. Right, can't believe Jim Kelly, and that's the kicker in one of them. Right? The game was there. All nor wide had to do was hit it, and he failed. All right, we gave you the inactives. So Kendall Lamb is active for Eric Fisher. So if something happens to, and we hope not, of course, the Tehran Arms said Kendall Lamb will be the guy that will play left tackle. I am interested to see Braylon Sanders. He has failed every opportunity he has gotten so far with the Miami Dolphins. Early in the season and last week. At one point or another, young man, you've got to make a play. They keep giving you opportunities. Has McDaniel learned his lessons? We're going to find out today. Dolphins, as we talked about, they need to win all 3 of these games. You need to build momentum going into the playoffs. No backing into the playoffs. That doesn't help. You need to put this losing streak behind you by starting a winning streak now. I want a 7-game winning streak, right? I think that's how it goes, right? 3 in the regular season, 4 in the playoffs. Is that how it goes? We talked about the wide receivers needing to be more consistent. These are all the things that have to go on today in order for this team to win. The defense, they need to almost continue to do what they've been doing. Just keep you in the game and make a play or two. Like last week, they got that late turnover. They're not going to carry you. They're not going to be the difference in the game. Although that would be really nice today, that we're like, wow, the defense played amazing today. That would be really nice. But they just don't have the talent to do that right now. X's growing is not going to get 100% all of a sudden. I'm sorry. Although, Nick Chubb, you've been called out enough by a lot of people. Could this be the game where Nick Chubb gets a couple of sacks and, finally comes to the forefront and say, hey, I've arrived? And Nick Chubb's problem, okay, his instincts have not taken over. And while everybody that plays end, you have to have some contain, okay, more often than not. If you're just a pure-ass pass rusher and they're just telling you, go get the quarterback, and that's because you're limited in that sense and that's all you can do, well, that's different. But most ends are going to use some containment, some pass rush discipline, because they've got to be aware of the quarterback or the running back or anybody or an end around or whatever coming their way. They've got to show that. The problem with Chubb right now that he's having is deciding when the play no longer requires for him to contain and he can unleash the Kraken. And that's where he's having trouble deciphering what's going on in that play so he can break loose. And meanwhile, he stays containing and chasing, and it takes too much time, and he's done, and he's out of the play. So that's the key. That light needs to go on when he's got to shed a tackler quickly to make a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, to go after the quarterback. When he knows that the run isn't coming to his side, that he knows he can get after the guy. And that has not happened. And by the way, that happened a lot to Phillips last year. He's gotten so much better at it. Look at him. The instincts are just flat out taking over. Nick Chubb's instincts have not taken over on this defense yet. That's been his bugaboo, let's just say. I hope he figures it out starting today. It would be nice for the light to finally come on going into the playoffs. Now, folks, I don't want to go canceling my house in Arizona. I'm going to keep the dream alive. But they need to keep my dream alive by winning today and winning the next couple of weeks and build some momentum. Adam Outdoor Bushcraft. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you on the super chat. Good afternoon, Big O, listening from Southwest Michigan. Wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas. Also, let's get a win today. Phinz up. Amen. Amen. Let's get a win, man. Definitely need a win. Would be awesome to get a big time win today. By the way, just out of curiosity, just let me check where Bitcoin is at, because it is 7 days a week, still right 16.9, so it's right under 17. I like it. It has stayed strong. Big O Radio Show. You see that dirty play by Mac Jones yesterday? Yeah, it's been a long year for Mac Jones. Let me tell you something. is there a more complaining and whining quarterback in the NFL than Mac Jones? I forgot to mention that on Twitter yesterday while I'm watching. I'm going, dude, I haven't seen a quarterback complain more to referees, to his coaches. Like Mac Jones is just pissed about everything, dude. And I kind of feel bad for him. Okay, I know it's the Patriots, and I'm not supposed to have any sympathy for Patriots, Bills, and Jets. And I get that, and normally I don't have any because I really enjoyed the Jets losing. I enjoyed watching Bill Belichick go down the drain and just look at his curmudgeon look like he can't figure out his offense. I love all of that. Don't get me wrong. But there's a part of me that kind of feels bad for Mac Jones, okay? Because Mac Jones is not the guy pointing fingers like I'm the best or I'm the greatest, I'm the second coming. None of that, dude. He's been pretty humble and puts his head down and works. But he's been shell-shocked this year because they took away a real offensive coordinator in McDaniel. They gave him Matt Patricia. The offense is a disaster. They're probably coaching him up completely different now compared to what he was facing in Alabama, what he had his first year with the Patriots, and what he has now. It's got to be super frustrating for him. Remember what I used to tell you with Tua? For those of you that have been on the platform for a while now, remember while Tua was with these guys for 2 years, what did I say? Man, Tua must look, damn, dude, at Alabama, I had better coaches. I had better talent around me. I had like a real offense, a real offensive coordinator, and a real quarterback's coach. And I come here, and this is, remember I used to tell you that he had everything around him. His support staff was the kind of support staff that most players need. And then he gets here and he has nothing. And I think that Mac Jones is shell-shocked in that sense, that he had the support he needed as a quarterback. Do I think he's better than Tua or as good as Tua? Hell no. I think Tua's way better than this guy. But I think Mac Jones still can be a serviceable quarterback in the NFL, but not with what he has now at coaching. That's his problem. And I feel bad for him because haven't you been at a job that your manager, your boss is incompetent? And then, as a business, you're not meeting your quotas, you're not doing well and all that. And you know where the problem's coming from. You know the person above you, you know the people they're hiring, you know the habits, you know the mistakes they're making, and you see it. But you can't do anything about it because you're just an employee. We've all been in those kind of positions. Lord, I've been in radio. Trust me. I've seen it many times over. How about you, Sean? You ever noticed any incompetence around you in radio? Ever? Never. Of course not. So that part I feel for Mac Jones because you've been through it. I've been through it. We've all been through a situation so this is kind of weird for the poor kid, and I don't know if it gets any better. I got to tell you, in another year, he'll demand a trade or something like, no, I'm not signing here. I'm leaving. Diggum Smack says Texans game was a good example of a coach being ahead of the opponent's game plan wise and just plain executing of the plays called. Need to be able to take advantage when teams game plan heavily versus pass. Amen. True Fin Fan says, I'm just glad you're on, Big O. Merry Christmas. Thank you, sir. And we are happy to be here for you. We really are. Andrew Pereira. Big O, really think we have baby JT and Jalen Phillips. Man, I love what I'm watching from him. I agree with you. Greer continues to kill it. Josh Boyer is not to blame for D's fallings, like you said. The front line DBs are injured. Yeah, it changes everything that they do. Aaron Rodgers, Jeopardy host. This team intercepted this Green Bay quarterback 5 times on Christmas Day. Me. Who is the Miami Dolphins? I like it, Rosendo. I like it. And Space Snack 23 says, when Mac Jones gets knocked out of a game with a headshot to his knees, remember when he twisted the Panthers linebacker's ankles in that cheap shot on Apple. He's a petulant child. He is. He's getting pissed. You're right about that. Yeah, no, I don't think Byron's coming back, Eric. All right, but we are going to be coming back. We're going to be coming back the second this game ends. So let's go. Hit the smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe. Get us to 17,000, please. As always, Sean Stanley, Chad Shobe, thank you all out there. We appreciate everybody that tuned in. All of you that sent in a super chat or on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We thank, of course, Lee Sterling. We will see you when this game ends. And a victory for the Miami Dolphins over the Green Bay Packers. You all be good out there. This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. From home to kitchen to bathroom additions and remodelings, get in contact with one of the best contractors in the business. Call Eric at EJDconstruction.com, 305-433-4843. Please subscribe to our platform by searching Big O Radio Show on all digital avenues. We'll be back with a complete wrap-up of the game once the last second ticks off the clock. Thank you for your support and enjoy Dolphins football.